The Legend Car, Bandolero Car, and Thunder Roadster are manufactured by U.S. Legend Cars International and internationally sanctioned by INEX to provide a fun and affordable racing opportunity in which anyone can compete. This series is an attempt to fight the high costs involved in racing, and the rules are strictly enforced to ensure fair competition and cost control. I wanted to start this video off with the mission statement from US Legend Cars because on February 3rd, they announced that they will be changing their shock supplier for the future. And this announcement has caused quite the conversation within the Legend Car community. In fact, it started a poll on a Facebook group in which 221 people out of 238 said that they were not happy about the announced change. Regardless of how you felt when the announcement was first dropped, I wanted to let the news sit a little bit. We are now talking about it a week later. And there are a few key points that I want to go over talking about the new change. First and foremost, this will be my first season in one of these cars, so a lot of my opinions probably won't matter to a lot of you, but looking at it from a consumer perspective, I'm hoping that some of you guys can feel what I'm feeling. Now the shocks we currently have in our car and the shocks that we've been using for the past couple years, the Bilsteins were only about $100 last year and have recently spiked up to $135 per shock. When this announcement dropped, we learned that the new shocks are now $210 a piece. From what I've been told, the Bilsteins are very inconsistent with their build quality and how they perform on the car. Many people I know that race Legend Cars end up sending their Bilsteins out and getting them dynoed by someone and having them let them know which corner of the car that specific shock belongs on, because a lot of times, even though it's supposed to be a spec shock across the board, you're going to get quite the variance from one shock to another. And with that inconsistency and it not being displayed, it's hard to understand what corner the shock will go on, and sometimes you will put the shock on the completely opposite corner that it needs to be on, leading to a lot more accidents and crashes than need to happen. Now I can understand people's frustrations as the new shocks are coming out because they were introduced with 4 different valving options. Not to mention the $210 price tag and the $40 coilover kit. You're going to be spending quite a bit of money to make the switch. Baseline recommendations were given. Now looking at the asphalt oval, since I'll be running, those baselines both have the same shocks on the right side, the 4-5, and then the left rear both recommend the 3-3 as well. The only change is going to be the left front. You'll either run a 2-4 or a 4-5 on there, but these are just recommendations. You're going to spend time at whatever track you're running to try and figure out what shocks work for you and how you're comfortable with it. That could mean that you're putting 4-5s on all 4 corners, putting 3-3s on the left sides and 4-5s on the right. There's so many different combinations now with the 4 different valving options that people are frustrated that it's no longer a spec rule. And I'd have to agree, because going back to the mission statement, these cars were originally created because everything else around it was getting ridiculously expensive, that this was supposed to be the alternative, low-cost option to racing. As this announcement came out, many people felt that INEX is going in the opposite direction and this is becoming more expensive than running any other car. While I don't know that firsthand, I can see why people would feel that way. However, these shocks, although they include such a high initial cost, they are rebuildable now. Now we don't have a set price or even a price range on how much it will be to rebuild them, but they are rebuildable. So we're hoping that that will help offset the cost of having to buy a new Bilstein shock every time you bend a rod, or anytime you start leaking oil out of it, or anything that could go wrong with that shock. Plus, with the different valving options, these are probably realistically the same valving options you would get with the Bilsteins, except now you know what they are. I think most of the frustration from the community, though, actually comes from the timing of the announcement. This announcement came out early February when many people are actually on the stage of putting their car back together for the season, or are even already racing at tracks across the country. The weekend the announcement came out, you had cars running at the Chili Willy in Tucson, as well as the Winter Heat in Charlotte. And from the 12th to the 17th of February, you actually have the Winter Nationals going on in Florida. To say that people are upset because their cars are already put back together and set up the way that they need to with the Bilsteins, just to have a new shock come out, I can see why they're pretty frustrated. And to stack an issue on top of that, it's still incredibly difficult to even get a set of new tires to run for the year. Now, according to our local dealer here in Denver, he was one of 3 in the United States to get a shipment of tires this last round, and he was told that he should primarily be selling them to people who are going to be running the Chili Willy. It wasn't even mentioned that he should sell them to his local people, because they were going to backfill his tires so that he could, but that his priority was to sell to Chili Willy. Luckily, we were able to get ourselves a set of tires from that shipment, but not everyone was as lucky as we were. So obviously it's frustrating. The new shocks are extremely expensive, but I don't think the overall change of them is that inherently bad. Yes, it sucks having 4 different options to choose from and to try and build a setup on, plus whatever spring rates you're going to have on top of those shocks are going to affect the car tremendously. I believe that if AFCO and US Legend cars were to release either a right side and a left side shock, or even just one shock completely that actually gets dynoed and is rebuildable, it would be a lot better for the community and they would have received it a lot better, especially considering that 4 days ago US Legend cars delayed the sale of these new shocks until February 21st. That's the earliest you can get shocks. Originally, it was immediate, but they said that due to overwhelming demand of the new shocks, we're delaying the sale of them by our offices. Now, whether you view that as a corporate decision to try and let people simmer down on social media, or maybe they don't have the stock that they thought that they had, but it's definitely not ideal. I personally am probably not going to change out the shocks yet, as we're still saving up for the FC09 next year, but it does make everything that we're saving up for and trying to price out for next year that much more difficult, because if we do switch to the new motor, we're still not going to be very competitive because we'll be on old shocks most likely. Unless the shocks on the car now just die out by then we'll be forced to spend at least $500 on new shocks, switching them over, or try and buy out whatever the last supply is of the Bilsteins, have them dynoed so that we know what corner they go on so we don't wreck, and hope for the best. But I don't know, it just seems like a lot of this car is getting more and more expensive, which obviously with inflation you'll get, but to jump from last year's shocks being $100 per shock to now $210 per shock, it's ridiculous. That's more than doubled the price in a year. Obviously it's a bit frustrating, especially now that we're putting the car back together for ourselves. I just hope that this change goes a lot smoother than the tires did, because having such a delay on tires makes people not want to race, and then having a delay on shocks would make them feel even more so against racing, especially the Legend car. And there's already tons of people that have announced that they're selling their cars. Whether or not that's true, couldn't tell you, but there's a large amount of mixed emotions within the community, and I don't think that INEX is even paying attention to that. So unfortunately, that's the situation we're in. We'll see how it goes. We're still budgeting out our year. I think we're only running 7 or 8 races this year. We are working to finalize our schedule. We should know in the next couple weeks what it actually is. It's just unfortunate that our sanctioning body doesn't listen to the drivers and the owners and whatnot. So hopefully that changes in the near future, but I doubt it. We'll see how the season goes. Maybe more people will simmer down a little bit. I know social media has quite the knee-jerk reaction, and we'll see what the future holds. I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.